it's one of those things and I've said it over and over again. I know it's not a real flashy answer or anything, but you're in the grind for almost 6 straight months, and had one day off. That was Christmas, and really haven't had a chance to really sit back and reflect. I guess we have the last 3 weeks been able to do it a little bit, but you look over the course of just my career, and you look at in context to where this season kind of stands, and it's just a special year. I mean, it really has been, and we want to continue to play, and we want to continue to prepare and continue to have that sense of urgency and not sit back and get comfortable, but at the same time, it's, you realize, all of this and the attention that we're receiving and the, the fun that our guys are having. But ultimately it comes down to the players, and that's the thing that I enjoy the most is, the best jobs I've ever had are the ones I look forward to going to work to every day. And when you're thinking about working every day for the last 220 days or something like that, something crazy, you really do you look forward to going to work and seeing those guys every day? And that's honestly been the most fulfilling part of the season for me. But looking back, it's going to be fun to look back and reflect on what we accomplished this year. Well, I mean, we knew that it was going to either be, Clemson or Texas, and after doing a deep dive, into both teams, we really felt like Texas was going to be the team that was going to come out on top. We felt like they had the better roster, we thought they had the better plan on offense and defense, and we thought it was going to be a tough hill to climb for Clemson to win that game, and obviously that came to fruition. So. We've prepared for Texas for probably the last 3 weeks, and it hasn't been every single day. Obviously, we've had some time to to kind of sit back and do our own self scouting and doing a lot of recruiting. But it's we're playing a great team, and we're going to be prepared for them. Their system doesn't really change in terms of what they're doing. I mean, they really are. It's a rigid and it's a system-oriented approach. It's a system-oriented approach to what they're doing on offense. So it's not like they're going to give you one style of offense versus another when they change the quarterbacks, but the quarterbacks give you different skill sets. And so Manning's a little bit more elusive, and they're going to try to run the football to keep you honest. They're going to try to set you up to be able to defend the quarterback run, to then set you up for him to throw the football. And but they're both very talented quarterbacks, so we're going to have a plan for both of them. Yeah, I mean, it always starts up front for us and our 2 interior guys, and really CJ Fight, Jacob Kungaika, and we also roll in Zach Swanson and Jeff Clark and Blazin Lonawong, and we really feel like we have depth at that interior position, and those guys are going to have to battle. And we talk about the spine of our defense always having to be the strongest part of our defense. When it starts with those 2 guys up front, then it moves back to guys like Caleb McCullough and Keyshawn Elliott and Jordan Crook, Zybris Fiazo, and those guys being able to be stout and physical and stopping the run. And if we feel like we can get teams to do that, we're going to make them perimeter oriented, and then we can get into some of our complementary calls. And obviously, in the middle is Xavier Alford, and he's had a great year for us. And he's a guy that's really our quarterback of our defense. And if those guys play really well and we can keep our spine of our defense intact, it's going to force them into becoming a perimeter-oriented team. And if they're a perimeter-oriented team, then our corners, Keith Abney, Javen Robinson, and Montana Warren's going to get his first start and extended playing experience in this game. Those guys are going to have to be outstanding. And and obviously, Miles Rouser's been great in terms of, especially in the versus the run, but they're gonna put stress on him so we can play, our field-oriented defense and our passing strength-oriented defense. So for him to be able to hold up into the boundary or away from the passing strength is going to be key for us on defense. Yeah, I mean, it's just funny. We I think it was maybe going into the BYU game. I think it took us that long to figure it out. Well, because we were, the Kansas State game, we showed like, wow, here's what we can be, because we came out and we really started out fast and got up on Kansas State and then, kind of cruised in the second half versus them. But we were like, hey, maybe this is really going to happen. And then, when we play BYU and we get up on them, we're like, okay, when our guys are clicking, we feel like we can play with anybody. And these are good football teams that we're playing well against. And I just, the biggest thing is I think we knew, like in camp, what we could potentially have. And if everything came together, if we could stay healthy, and those are the things that we've been able to do. And, the offense has continued to improve, and they've done what they've done, obviously, in their development. And then our defense has just been consistent throughout the year.